Hello, this is Jacob L. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the PVC bow molds that I use, that people have been asking me to make for a while now. First, you're going to need to have a bow that you've already made, because this technique can only be used for cloning a bow. You're not going to be able to do it unless you already can make one by hand. And you will need to have a 4x6 piece of wood. I didn't have a 4x6, so I glued together two pieces of 2x6. Trace the outline of the bow onto the side of the board, and cut it out. You'll end up with these three interlocking layers. Take the center layer, which is the same shape as the bow, and lay the bow that you used on it to trace the other dimension, the top-down view of the bow, onto that piece of wood, like this, and then cut that out as well. You don't need the middle part, just the two outer parts. These are going to form side rails to keep the bow straight inside of the mold, and control the thickness. Sand both sides of the mold so that they're fairly smooth. It doesn't have to be perfect, but fairly smooth, and also remove any unwanted waviness. Then glue the side rails into place. I also added these pins that you can see. It's an optional step, but it helps guide the top on. It's 3/8 inch pieces of dowel, hammered into exact fitting holes in the bottom piece, and in the top piece the holes are drilled a little bit larger so that it slides on easily. I used 3/8 inch holes for the bottom and 1/2 inch holes for the top, and I cut the dowels off to match the right length. And this is what I'm using for heating the PVC. It's based on the oven that Backyard Bowyer showed. It's just a light box, basically. The change that I made was I made it long and narrow so that you can fit the whole length of the bow, and the bow rests on a wooden skewer that you can turn to keep the heating even on the bow. When your pipe is hot and flexible, transfer it to the mold, and it's very simple. You just close the mold on top of it and clamp it down and wait 5 minutes or so. You should probably use at least 2 clamps to ensure you're getting even pressure and putting the whole thing all the way down. And I thought I should also show you, if you're having Cias on your bows, then you can put them in while they're in the mold, and this helps. If everything is lined up right with the mold, then it helps get the Cias straight to put them in while they're in there. And it's easier than having to heat it up afterward. The next step after you make the first bow is to look for any inconsistencies in the mold. Like, I found a bulge right here, which will need to be fixed. So identify that point on the mold, and I applied putty to it, which the putty is made of white glue and sawdust. Once you've made all your adjustments, you can start cranking out bows. This is only really worth it if you want to make at least about 5 bows or so, because you're going to need to make a couple of bows just to get the mold working right.